Hey YouTube, Revolution 2024 here with hopefully a quick video on September 11th, Saddam Hussein, Osama bin Laden, Afghanistan, Iraq, fill in the blank, whatever you want to fill in, I'm probably going to cover it. I'm going to be showing that the United States was asking for September 11th to happen. It was probably unavoidable because of our foreign policy, and it was... I'm at a loss for words right now. I'm just going to get into it. There are many people who believe that the reason we were attacked on September 11th is because they hate us because of our freedom, or they hate us because of our culture. They hate us because of our religion, or they hate us because we're better than them. No, Mr. Bush, I'm sorry, but you're wrong. And maybe if you'd spent more time studying foreign policy during college and not getting drunk, doing cocaine, running in people's bushes, or maybe if you'd spent more time paying attention to the nation on that day, or the days leading up to it, the months leading up to it, rather than going on vacation, rather than waiting 7 minutes into the attack while reading a kid's book that you probably couldn't even read because you're illiterate. Those are not the reasons. None of them have anything to do with why we were attacked on September 11th. Number one reason we were attacked on September 11th, blowback. For those of you unfamiliar with this term, blowback refers to U.S. operations that have unintended results that we don't like. They come back and bite us. 1953. The United States overthrows the Iranian government at the time, a democratic government, replaces their leader with a dictator. Yes, we support dictators throughout the 20th century. We're going to get into another one before long. But we replace this government with a dictator, the Shah, who supports us. He does everything we want. He's basically our puppet. He's Bush's Tony Blair, in a sense. He does everything the United States tells him to. But remember, he's a dictator and subjects Iran to 25 years of tyranny and repression. The people of Iran get pissed off and rebel in the Ayatollah Khomeini revolution. I think I pronounced that right. This revolution, in which the people of Iran are trying to take their government back, leads to the Irani hostage crisis during the time of the Carter administration. This is the main reason Jimmy Carter gets such a bad rap as a president, because of the people that were hostage. He tried and tried to negotiate and get the hostages back, but it did not happen during his administration. Because of that, people don't give him credit for it. It happened. The hostages were released very shortly after Carter's administration ended, and very shortly into Reagan's administration. Reagan is given much undue credit for that whole situation. Reagan, bad president. I'll get into that in another video, not into. But you know, Reagan, bad president. Carter, good president. It's not Democrat, Republican thing. So, skip ahead to the end of that. 1979, the United States is fighting the Soviets at this time in the Cold War. The Cold War, you know, the war that never happened? Well, while we were busy preparing for a war that didn't happen with the Soviets, Afghanistan was fighting a war, an actual war, with the Soviets, because the Soviets were invading Afghanistan at the time. You know, Afghanistan borders Russia, therefore they were coming in. They had this group, the Mujahideen, or freedom fighters, headed by a young Arab at the time, or he's still Arab, a young Arab by the name of Osama bin Laden. The CIA goes in, trains the Mujahideen, supports the Mujahideen, gives them weapons, gives them money, gives them everything they need to fight the Soviets, because, of course, we're going to choose the lesser of two evils. And in a sense, we did it this time. Whenever we continued to support Afghanistan until the Soviets bombed them back to the Middle Ages, the Dark Ages, let's go with that, at which point the United States turns their back on Afghanistan and Osama bin Laden. They have every right to be pissed off about that. Anybody in their right mind would be pissed off about that. And in that sense, I don't think bin Laden is crazy there. I don't support terrorism. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying bin Laden has every right to be pissed off. Jump ahead again. We're in the 80s. Again, we're going to choose the lesser of two evils. The Iranian government has recently been overthrown by the Iranian people, and Iraq is fighting them. Who are we going to choose? Of course, we're going to support the dictator, Saddam Hussein. We're going to sell him the weapons of mass destruction that Mr. Bush goes back in 2002 and says, hey, we know you have those. We sold them to you. Which, I'm surprised he even knew that. If he even knew that. He's probably just dealing with his father's masculinity issues because he couldn't get rid of Saddam. After this conflict ends, the United States spends the next 20 years trying to get rid of Saddam Hussein. We continuously bomb them and attempt to kill him in different ways, but in the meantime we are killing countless numbers of Iraqi citizens. So over that 20-year time period, the United States kills countless numbers of Iraqi citizens. We're still killing Iraqi citizens today. On September 11th, 2001, the United States was attacked by terrorists. There were 19 of them, 19 hijackers. 15 of these hijackers were from our ally, Saudi Arabia. 2 were from the United Arab Emirates. That's a little island kind of thing. It's a peninsula. 1 was from Egypt and 1 was from Lebanon. We are not at war with Saudi Arabia. We are not at war with Lebanon. We are not at war with Egypt. And we are not at war with the United Arab Emirates. We are not at war with Afghanistan. We are at war with the terrorists in Afghanistan. There, I will give you the credit that, okay, there were camps that I'm going to do some more research to, and I'll correct that if I'm wrong. There were camps in Afghanistan, and that's why we're there. Iraq had absolutely nothing to do with September 11, 2001. Nothing. Iraq killed 0 people on September 11, 2001. 0 American citizens. Afghanistan killed 0 American citizens on September 11, 2001. Somebody please give me a good reason as to why we're in Iraq, because I have not heard one. The best reason I've heard is that we are fighting in Iraq because the terrorists are in Afghanistan. And I like that. But hopefully this video has shed a little insight on why we were actually attacked and cleared up several misconceptions that the right-wing Republican conspiracy theorists have about this subject. Thank you.